dog, or you're at the gym getting a workout in, because Border Report Live is now available on the podcast apps that you see there at the bottom of your screen. So make sure to like, subscribe to a Border Report Live on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or the video and audio version on YouTube. That is going to do it for us today. Thank you so much to Lakin Jordahl of the Center for Biological Diversity for joining us today to talk about the Big Bend border wall, and as well as to our South Texas correspondent Sandra Sanchez for joining us as always. My name is Rudy Mireles here in Harlingen, Texas. We'll see you next time.
Oh, I don't see where you got your...
Crash this afternoon on the southbound access road of I-44 claims the lives of 2 people.
DPS troopers and the Wichita County Sheriff's Office responded to the 7400 block of North Central Freeway around 4:10 this afternoon. When our crew initially arrived on scene, they said CPR was being performed and traffic had been diverted by the Sheriff's Office. DPS Sergeant Juan Gutierrez confirmed the deaths of 2 cyclists, but the victims have not been identified.
It's also unknown at this time what kind of vehicle hit them, who the driver of that vehicle was, and if there will be any criminal charges filed. So be sure you're following us on air and online for the latest updates on this. The Skybox Data Centers, it continues its community outreach as they set for a groundbreaking in early 2027.
Dylan Jimenez went to Skybox's open forum where quite a few people showed up to learn more. So Dylan, what all was there at the warehouse?
Well, lots of networking for Skybox officials. Chief Development Officer Haynes Strader says today's forum is meeting with local partners. The forum began around 5. Strader says this was an opportunity for local businesses and people to learn more about the incoming data center. Different tables were set up so people can learn about jobs, the use of the building, and more. Strader emphasized the company will seek local labor first before finding workers outside Wichita Falls.
We go into local partnerships with local people is incredibly important, and I mean that seriously. To bring the amount of labor that is required to get this type of campus out of the ground, all from out of market, just simply won't work. We need massive local support.
Jay Wally of Wally Products out of Burke Burnett says he believes the data center will be impactful. He attended today's forum to connect with Skybox officials who say the data center will use a closed-loop system for water. Wally says his company makes the closed-loop system, the data center, and backs the claims it won't lose water. He hopes to get work for his company.
I mean, there might be different areas of the facility that might use water, but I really don't think that if it's a closed loop, chiller system, which I know it is, that's what they're doing, then yeah, it's going to be a closed loop water system that they're not going to be losing water because it's a closed loop.
Skybox officials spoke at the State of the Economy event hosted by the Chamber of Commerce this morning, answering questions from people. The company also gave me an email for you to use if you have further questions or concerns. You can find that on TexasHomepage.com.
I know this was probably a very helpful event for a lot of people out in the community tonight. Dylan, thank you so much for taking us there. All right, let's go ahead now and check in with Chief Meteorologist Michael Bowling for a look outside. And Michael, you think we're up for another record-breaking day tomorrow?
There's a pretty good chance for it. We're going to be right on that line of record-breaking temperatures or just plain warm temperatures for this time of year. Regardless, it's going to feel warm tomorrow afternoon. Satellite radar across the area is pretty quiet here right now here as we go into tonight. Temperature outside is still pretty warm for this time of year, warmer than our average high here as we go into the 10 o'clock hour. 77 degrees the current temperature in Wichita Falls, 80 in Amarillo, 77 in Midland, 81 out towards El Paso, 70 still there for DFW, Austin, and Houston. We are a little bit warmer than we were this time yesterday, a 5-degree warm-up versus 24 hours ago. It might be just a tad bit warmer again for tomorrow, and that's why we have the chance for some record highs. But what you might notice more here for the next couple of days is the wind is picking up quite a bit with a cold front on the way. We'll talk about that coming up here in a few minutes, Aaron.
All right, sounds good, Michael. Thanks so much. I love setting records.
All right, now one local nonprofit is stepping up and helping local TSA agents affected by the partial government shutdown. Executive Director for Interfaith Outreach Services, Chris Gossam, decided to offer services to local TSA agents in the form of helping them with their rent or mortgages, utility bills, and even groceries while they continue to receive no income. Gossam says they can help in a variety of ways, liking helping pay to your rent or mortgage or utilities. And they can even provide these families with food, like donated shelf-stable food. If you want more information on how you can help Interfaith Outreach continue its mission of helping those in need, all you have to do is just click inside the story over on TexomasHomepage.com.
Graham students are helping lives far beyond Texoma after a packing party today. Students spent the day working assembly style to pack thousands of meals bound for families in Bangladesh. The goal, to package around 10,000 meals for families in need overseas. Each bag carefully prepared to provide multiple servings. School leaders say the effort is about more than just addressing hunger. It's also about shaping students through service. Organizers say they hope to continue growing this event in the future, giving more students the chance to make a global impact.
And the Wichita Falls Animal Shelter is also looking for extra supplies to help them out during puppy and kitten season. According to the animal shelter, they are currently in need of canned food, toys, beds, blankets, and towels. They say a little help goes a long way for their shelter pets. Donations can be dropped off anytime the shelter is open. The donation bin is right inside by the front doors. If you have any items you aren't sure can be donated, they encourage you to call and ask first. The animal shelter is located on 1207 Hatton Road.
Well, don't go anywhere. Michael is back after the break with Olympus full forecast.
And coming up, we sat down with our storm chaser, Kyle Guthrie, as he reflects on the strongest storms that have hit Texoma.
Doctors' Day is March 30th. A special thank you to these doctors for the care they provide to our communities. For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. And how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop the
normalization.
bullying.
Well, I completely disagree. Point of inquiry.
For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Weather Authority with Chief Meteorologist Michael Bowling.
So no severe weather in sight, no rain in sight probably for the next few days, but it never hurts to be a little early to the game and get that weather radio.
What if there
that
were
weather
rain
radio.
chances in the forecast?
I would have said, well, that's fun. But I was paying attention. I saw there wasn't. It was just a lot of record highs.
It's dry out there, Michael.
Yeah, it is dry out there. I can confirm it is dry, and it will remain remain that way.
All right, yeah, we have our Midland Weather Radio Day coming up next Tuesday at Ace Hardware, March 31st at 4 to 6:30 p.m. Purchase one for $40. It includes batteries. We hope to see you there. All right, taking a look outside right now on the Bowie Tower Cam. Current temperature is 77 degrees. We have a south-southeast wind at 14 miles per hour. A little bit humid out there. You see the heat index rises to a feels-like temperature of 79. Today's high, 92 degrees, so 21 degrees above our average of 71, and we just barely broke today's record of 91 that we set back in 1976. Our low this morning was 61 degrees, which was 17 degrees above our average of 44. Looking at the wind gusts here as we go into tonight, it's going to stay on the breezy side here. As again, it's tomorrow afternoon. It's definitely going to get more windy out there. You see these south winds gusting up to around 30 miles per hour. As I always say, the forecast models underestimate our wind speeds here in Texoma. Expect wind gusts up around 35 to maybe even 40 in spots here as we go into tomorrow afternoon. Then we look ahead to Friday morning. This is 5 a.m. The cold front's already starting to hit the northwestern portions of Texoma. By about 7 o'clock, it's hitting Wichita Falls. By 9 o'clock, it's hit all of Texoma. So as you get ready in the morning on Friday, you're getting ready to go to work, you're getting the kids ready for school, it's going to be windy here. You see these wind gusts up over 40 miles per hour in spots. It still underestimates our wind speeds. We're probably going to see wind gusts up around 50 or 55. Not quite as windy as last Sunday, but pretty close. So expect a really windy start to the day here on Friday. And it's going to stay breezy here as we go throughout the afternoon, windy through the afternoon. So just be ready for that here as we go into Friday. We still have near critical fire weather conditions coming through here for Thursday and Friday, elevated for next Sunday and Monday, but especially the next couple of days here. We do have this red flag warning in effect here for tomorrow for most of Texoma. Continue to avoid any outdoor activities that could create sparks. And of course, please avoid any outdoor burning here over the rest of this week. Now, tomorrow afternoon, we got low 90s to high 90s, east to west across Texoma. I had the high in Wichita Falls at 94 degrees. Record is 93. We set it all the way back in 2025. So it's not a very old record, but it is a chance to break another one here for tomorrow before we cool back down to the 60s here for Friday and Saturday. And then we warm back up into the high 80s here as we go into next week. Here's our look at the satellite radar. It is pretty quiet right now. Generally clear skies across the area. We're going to keep that going into the day for tomorrow. Now, as the front arrives here as we go into the day on Friday, cloud cover starts to increase, partly to mostly cloudy skies throughout the day on Friday. We'll see that continue into the beginning of this weekend. It will start to break up on Sunday. So for tonight, 63 degrees, clear and breezy with a south wind gusting up over 20. Tomorrow high, 94 degrees, windy and warm. South winds gusting up over 30, possibly as high as 40. Here's the 7-day forecast. We're going to be a little bit cooler there for Friday and Saturday, but then we're back warmer into the high 80s as we go into next week.
See it coming.
Love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone. It's totally worth it.
What's happening in one of America's greatest cities? Drug addiction, homelessness, mental illness, violent crime.
It's just insane.
The Decline and Fall of San Francisco, a Bill O'Reilly special, tomorrow at 9, 8 Central on News Nation.
Love the hustle, Cliff.
Scan.org.
Plaza.
Ahead of the Storm on KFDX is brought to you by Mataska Roofing and Investar Bank.
There are men and women who hit the road and intercept severe storms, many times putting themselves in life-threatening situations, all to keep you informed.
As we gear up for storm season, Curtis Jackson took a trip with our very own storm chaser, Kyle Guthrie. It shows us how looking back on dangerous situations can help them better stay ahead of the storm in the future.
We got Kyle's shot now. Oh, yeah, there's our tornado.
Hey, you got 2 tornadoes on the ground.
Meet Kyle Guthrie.
On the ground, fully condensed.
I've been chasing since 1999.
And for the past nearly 3 decades he's been chasing, he's captured some pretty stunning images and videos and been in some pretty dangerous situations, including several just in the past 5 years.
You need to be in your safe spot.
The El Dorado Duke storm was a big storm. That was the tornado that was on the ground for nearly an hour. It did cause some destruction and some damage.
That is a nasty, nasty tornado.
We were right there as soon as the tornado started until it dissipated.
I've got another house hit here. We're going to check for injury.
Okay.
We came across damage path, did search and rescue on multiple homes. Actually found the second home we went to was actually the roof was inside of her living room, and she opened the door. And
EMS on the way?
memories stick with us. That's something that we don't want to see. She was crying. She was okay at that time, but her life just got turned upside down by this monster tornado. But it's not just tornadoes and high winds that pose a threat while out chasing. Guthrie found himself caught in a massive hailstorm. It was a small enough, significant supercell that we knew we could get around it at the time. What we did not know is how erratic it got, and it grew in intensity 14 miles north to south, hail core, with nowhere to go. We were on a farm market road going south, and there was nothing. Just me and another chaser. He turned left, I turned right, and I grabbed the nearest tree, and the hail was extremely large to the point it totaled our vehicle out. It busted our back windshield out, busted the front windshield, and it demolished the chase car. But that didn't stop Guthrie. He acquired a new chase car and was back on the road, staring danger right in the face when a severe storm took an erratic turn right towards him.
We are either in the RFD or we're right on the side of the tornado.
That one was probably the most dangerous storm I've ever been on in my 20 plus years of chasing.
I mean, that is powerful wind that he's in. I'm really hopeful that he stays safe.
I was right there on the right flank of the tornado, and in this exact chase car, over 100 miles an hour wind, and just what was going through the person behind me's mind and my mind at the time. We were live on TV. It was just all I could do was pray at that point.
Kyle, I hope you're staying safe there, man.
I pray for everyone's safety right now. This is a massive, massive storm right now. In Jesus' name.
And despite all the danger Guthrie has faced while chasing, he's still doing.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my...
Now, sports with Tobin McDuff from the OSTC Sports Desk, your complete orthopedic team.
This week, we chose to shine a light on Texoma's two newest state champions, Leah Sanchez from Legacy and Haley Wynn from Memorial. They took home powerlifting titles at their respective meets, both athletes setting personal bests in at least one of their lifts, with Sanchez breaking her class's state record for bench press with 190 pounds. The WFISD has now had 4 gold medal winning powerlifters over the past 3 years, and their coaches were clear about what the continued success means for their programs.
It feels pretty cool, especially as hard as she's worked to get to it, because she put in a lot of work. We were blessed. We had the last state champion at Ryder, and then we got the first one over here, so